Time now 8:20. Welcome back, everyone. This morning, measles cases are rising dramatically in the U.S. In just the first 2 months of the year, the U.S. has surpassed more than 1,100 cases. Those numbers released by the CDC are 6 times higher than what we normally see in an entire year. About 96% of the cases are in people who are unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated. Right now, the Minnesota Health Department is reporting 10 cases in our state. And a change is coming soon for Target shoppers. The Minneapolis-based retailer says it will only carry cereals made without certified synthetic colors. The change is expected to start in May and applies to store and national branded products. Target says its sales data shows a long-term shift towards foods without artificial additives, particularly for products you buy for your kids. Bookworms, listen up. It is your Super Bowl. Today is Read Across America Day. It's a perfect excuse to grab a book, read with your kids, or finally finish that one that has been sitting on your nightstand for all these months. And if you need some ideas, don't worry here. Read Across America created a list of picture books all about the joys of reading. The National Reading Holiday also falls on Dr. Seuss's birthday, so it might be the perfect day to revisit Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs and Ham. Well, to stay relevant in art, you have to keep pushing boundaries, but it doesn't need to be big. Sometimes the smallest details speak the loudest. Jessica Hart introduces us to the man in charge of design at the Minneapolis Institute of Art.
The Minneapolis Institute of Art is full of wonder.
It's cool to have people walking around.
Bobby Rogers
How did I get here? I feel like
isn't your average employee.
my journey was a bit unorthodox because it goes through multiple creative mediums.
Bobby started as an illustrator.
I grew up drawing all the time.
Then he became a photographer.
I go to the barbershop and be like, yo, I take photos for your social media if you give me free haircuts.
His work landed him a job at the Walker Arts Center, then Target.
And that's the way I like it.
He created his own studio, The Bureau, making content for Apple and the New York Times. Now he's Mia's head of design and editorial.
Anything you see visual that goes out, and a lot of things editorially written that you see go out, comes through my team before it goes live.
From billboards to fonts.
We are the creative look and feel of the museum.
To branding new exhibits. He paves the way for creatives of color because there aren't many in this field at this level.
But of course, there's always room for more. I don't think that, I'm definitely an anti-scarcity mindset person. And so I try to give as many opportunities as I can to people with our similar backgrounds. I try to give as many opportunities and teaching moments as I can.
With every new project, he creates a sense of wonder.
We have this goal at MIA to get 1 million visitors a year by 2030. And everything we do in design is then laddering up to that goal.
A goal within reach.
So we try to think about how all the colors themselves signal change from each gallery from season to season, but how they all work in relation to each other. And then how the fonts sort of, again, help you when it comes to that emotional sort of connection for people.
Within reach, partially because they have a team of people.
Should it be off the wall? Can we create custom areas where you can put videos into it?
Working to create a world of wonder. In Minneapolis, Jessica Hart, KARE 11 News.
I love to see him thriving in his element there. So Mia's latest exhibit is about art and politics in Germany between 1910 and 1945. That exhibit opens on Saturday. Go out and check it out. We're back after this quick break. 827 here on your Monday. Happening today, the man charged with killing 15-year-old Deshaun Hill 4 years ago will learn his new sentence. Just last month, Cody Forencam took a deal pleading guilty to second-degree murder during a retrial of his case before the jury could even be seated. He was convicted of shooting and killing Deshaun Hill back in 2023 and was sentenced to 38.5 years. He's now expected to serve 28 years in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for 3 p.m. John has your forecast coming up next.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Temperatures warmer this week, at least to kick it off, 27, going to 40 degrees here by the afternoon. Increasing cloud cover, a lot of sunshine out there now. Really nice day. 40s across the area, 40 degrees in Bemidji, 40 now. Overnight tonight into tomorrow, we might have a little drizzle in the southern half of the state, but tomorrow's an interesting day. Look at areas to the south where there's snowpack. They're actually going to be held down. I think we still make it way into the 40s, like nearing 50 degrees, but there's one little pocket, including the metro, where we have very little snow on the ground. Northern Minnesota has snow. Southern Minnesota has snow. We don't in central Minnesota, or at least southern, south central, wherever Minneapolis is. 40, 49, 52, 54. We climb. Obviously, March coming in like a lamb. I do think things will change by mid-month, so enjoy. Looks like our first shot for precip is rain Friday.
Is your time. Thanks for streaming with us here on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Alicia Lewis alongside Jason Hackett. We've been busy this morning following breaking news. Here in the last hour, we learned new updates from the Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, about the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran.
So in just 3 minutes here, we're going to check in with Audrey Russo. She's standing by at the live desk, breaking down the latest details from officials. But first, let's check in with John. Take a look at our much warmer forecast. I mean, 50s this week, John. That's crazy.
I mean, this is obviously March coming in really soft. This weekend was cold. I mean, technically yesterday was well below average, but now we're going to see temperatures continue to climb as we go throughout the week. We're going to be in the low 50s as early as tomorrow. Quiet start to the week, 50s on the way here, and then a colder mid-month. Temperatures will be changing in about 10 days. So just letting you know to enjoy this. 24-hour temp change, we have been warming 40 degrees warmer in International Falls, 4-0. They're at 25 below. They're only at 19. You would think warming 40 degrees would be better than 19. We're at 25 here in the Twin Cities, 18 in Bemidji. Next 12 hours, a lot of sunshine, increasing cloud cover. We have south winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. 40s, 41, 40 this afternoon. Maybe a little drizzle out there. You can see down here to the southwest pocket of the state, still 46. 40 in Bemidji, 41 in Brainerd. Here's what Tuesday looks like. Look at this odd looking forecast. So you see this little area where there wasn't snow. So we have deep snowpack in Brainerd and Bemidji, deep snowpack now in Mankato and Rochester from this weekend's snow, and then there's us. So that's why we're 50 and they're 43. Still 43, but yes, it will matter from the snowpack. Now, as we go through tomorrow morning, you will see a little bit of this mix. Now, a lot of this comes overnight, but if we can drop below 32, especially where there's snowpack, I do think roads will get a little icy, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully by late morning, it's already clear, and then you see by the second half of the day on Tuesday, things already clearing out. Here's the next 7 days. 40 degrees here on Monday, 49 Tuesday, 52 on Wednesday, and then we go to Thursday and Friday. That's going to be your next chance for precipitation. First one comes in with rain.
I was just clicking through cameras this morning here in the Maple Grove area because there is a dog on the highway, but it looks like he's okay. They got him. But traffic was slow. It's okay. Everyone in the studio was like, no, it's okay. MnDOT was there. They got him. He was just a little scared. And then there is some slower traffic as you're making your way on 94 here, but now everything's cleared up. That's why you see that slowing here right at the Fish Lake split. But everything's okay now, nothing to worry about. 694 looks pretty good right now. The only slowing I'm seeing is on 394. Again, work's happening in that area. You're gonna see slowing there the whole time. They are doing work through the fall, really. Everywhere else is pretty quiet. No serious crashes to report.
Good to hear, Cece, and good to hear that dog is off the highway as well. Thank you very much for that update. We are following breaking news here. In just the last 45 minutes, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth gave his first update on Operation Fury as the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran continues to expand.
Our Audrey Russo is at the live desk with more. Hey, Audrey.
Yeah, a big takeaway from that last hour was learning that 4 U.S. troops have been killed. Previously, that number was thought to be 3, all since Operation Epic Fury began over the weekend with American and Israeli airstrikes on Iran. Now, General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, described this as a single synchronized wave that struck more than 1,000 targets across Iran in the first 24 hours. Now, he stressed the element of surprise in this attack, the goal of which being to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. Now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was on the defensive from the get-go. He didn't provide a timeline of when Epic Fury would end, but he insisted that this is not the start of an endless war.
To the media outlets and political left screaming endless wars, stop. This is not Iraq. This is not endless. I was there for both. Our generation knows better, and so does this president. He called the last 20 years of nation-building wars dumb, and he's right. This is the opposite. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes.
So now we're going to be watching for reaction from lawmakers. They return to Capitol Hill tomorrow, where they're going to receive their first briefing on the weekend's attacks. Some lawmakers are not happy about that, though, planning to force a vote that would require President Trump to get congressional approval before taking any further action. Jason, Alicia.
All right, Audrey, thank you. Speaking of lawmakers and reaction, Senator Amy Klobuchar said in a statement, quote, "John and I are holding the families of the American service members killed and wounded in action in our thoughts today. We honor their bravery and their sacrifice." Over on Facebook, Republican Congressman Pete Stauber wrote, quote, "Their courage and service remind us of the profound cost of freedom. I am holding their grieving families in my prayers, and I'm also praying for the recovery of the wounded." And Pope Leo speaking out on the escalating violence in the Middle East. During his weekly address in St. Peter's Square, he warned peace cannot be achieved through mutual threats or weapons. He called on all countries involved to, quote, "halt the spiral of violence before it becomes an unbridgeable chasm."
Well, right now, the price of oil is surging in response to the fighting in the Middle East. Experts say we could see price hikes at the gas pump as soon as today. So in the last few hours, AAA released today's outlook on gas prices. You can see right now the national average is just under $3, sitting at $2.99. So far this year, the national average has not exceeded $3, but experts think that could happen pretty soon here. We'll be keeping an eye on those prices and update you if it changes. Make sure you stick with KARE 11 as we continue to monitor the situation developing in the Middle East, on air, online, and streaming right here on KARE 11+.
Developing right now, if you were woken up by a helicopter overnight over in St. Paul, here is why. Police are looking for a suspect in a shooting. It happened just before 1 o'clock this morning in the Maryland Avenue East neighborhood. Our photographer on the scene tells us that there were at least 12 squad cars and a helicopter flying over the area. One of the K-9 officers confirmed with us that it was a shooting. Right now, we don't know the condition of the victim, but we, of course, will update you as soon as we learn anything new.
Well, back here at home, the man charged with killing 15-year-old Deshaun Hill 4 years ago will learn his new sentence. This comes about 1 month after Cody Forencamp's shocking guilty plea. Megan McPherson previews today's sentencing.
Cody Forencamp's sentencing hearing today comes after he entered a surprise guilty plea last month, just 1 day into his retrial. And at the time, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty said that his plea should mean that he is being held accountable for his actions. But for those unfamiliar with his case, Forencamp shot and killed 15-year-old Deshaun Hill Jr., a star athlete at Minneapolis North High School, in February of 2022. Forencamp was convicted of second-degree murder in 2023, but that conviction was thrown out a year later after the Minnesota Court of Appeals ruled that key videotaped jail statements were illegally obtained. Hill's family told us during last month's retrial, the decision felt like a slap in the face.
I was just like, F you and your family, and we don't care about y'all. We protect the criminals in this state. We don't care about kids or none of that.
Now, Forencamp is now expected to spend 28 years in prison. That is 10 years less than his original sentence. Back to you.
All right, 8:38. Let's get over to John.
He's working.
He's working.
Yeah,
hard.
I think.
busy.
Yeah, he's going through the graphics, making sure he has all the updated information for his forecasts.
Yeah, this next week, John, looks, I don't want to like spoil your 7-day, but
Well, yeah.
it looks pretty great.
It looks awesome. Here, let me spoil it for everybody. Let's show this first. The next 8 to 14 days, it's over. So enjoy it while it lasts. See this? This means the jet stream's doing this. That means activity. That's my arrow. There you go. So it will be very active on an 8 to 14 day forecast. So that means probably going to get some snowstorms. But until then, let's enjoy it. And we did miss out on that snow on Saturday. We'll call it luck. Here's the next. Here's the headlines today. Quiet start to the week. 50s are on the way most of the week. It's going to be colder in the middle of the month, like we just talked about here. I just think you got to enjoy it. March is an interesting month because it's so crazy. If it's 71 degrees at any point, that's normal. If it's 0, that's also normal. If we get thunderstorms, that's normal. And if we get blizzards, that's also normal. Now, if you get a blizzard in June, then no. But this is chaos. So enjoy this little lamb start to the March we have. 50s are on the way. I mean, I think 50s most of the week. I could see 60 Wednesday in areas in southwest Minnesota. Now we're starting to warm up. International Falls is 40 degrees warmer right now. You look at the current temps, we're at 19. So we're 40 degrees warmer. That means minus 21, 24 hours to go up there. That's how cold that high pressure was from Canada. And it was pushing in that cold air really into that snowstorm that we somehow missed. 27 to 41, you go overcast skies here this afternoon. We'll increase the clouds. There's a little system just off to our west. So southern half of the state, we're going to have some cloud cover. 40, 38 in Rochester, 39 and sunny actually in International Falls. Anytime you get sunshine now, we're adding, 3 minutes of sun every day? This is a very strong sun, and that sun gets stronger. So I'll give it a week, 20 more minutes of sunlight and stronger sun. Tomorrow is an interesting day because we started off with some drizzle, and then we clear out and notice we're at 49 and Mankato's 43. That's because Mankato's got a snowpack. Also tonight, watching a little bit of mixed precipitation possible, especially over that snowpack, because that's going to be a little bit colder. So to me, I'm just going to circle the area. Down here, I just think there's a better chance for some icy roads tomorrow morning. If you're up in Brainerd, St. Cloud, probably not. Looks like that little, it'll be 2 to 6 a.m. But I think northern Minnesota will probably miss out. 40 to 54, Friday rain showers, and staying very warm through next weekend.
KARE 11 Plus Sunrise is brought to you by Home Furniture.
Right now at Home Furniture, it's the preferred customer event. Get up to an extra 15% off sale prices with instant factory rebates. Find savings throughout the showroom like this leather sofa, now just $12.69. Hurry in, the preferred customer event ends Monday at Home Furniture.